Insane day 3 of Mounjaro journey and Zepbound journey, how to use day 3 of your Mounjaro injection and your Zepbound injection to your advantage. Hi, sweet friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. Super excited to be here with you guys today on today's episode. I have been on Mounjaro and Zepbound now for the last almost 16 months, very, very close to being that in the next couple of days. I've lost over 85 pounds. I've dropped from size 24 pants down to size 14 pants. I am super active now. My life has totally changed as a result of taking Mounjaro. Because of the Mounjaro shortage, I'm now taking Zepbound and soon to be taking a compound. Make sure you stay till the end because I've got some information on compounds, and also you guys wanted me to do an update on the supplements I'm taking, so I'll talk about that. Stay till the end, I'll talk about that. But I want to give you 5 action tips of how to use day 3 of your shot injection to your advantage, how to maximize this. And you may say, Elizabeth, are you a healthcare provider? Absolutely not. So do not take this as medical health advice. This is simply my experience, strength, and hope now of having what's 4 times 16, gosh, how many, 64 weeks, 64 times of 64 day 3s of testing of what's worked well for me. And that's tip number 1, straight out of the gate. It's not even tip number 1, but straight out of the gate of your information very well may be different from mine. So I want to encourage you, and this is with all my videos, to put the ownership back on you of here's what I've got of what's working well for me, and you take and test with for your own body and with your own healthcare provider, right? Because this is not medical advice. So the first thing for day 1, because I do have 5, 6 tips for you, I always have a bonus. And tip 1 is so for day 1 and day 2 of my shot, whether you're on Mounjaro or Zepbound, they're the same thing. They just have different FDA approvals for them, which can thus affect your insurance, right? Like if you're approved for type 2 diabetes for Mounjaro or for chronic obesity management for Zepbound, that's going to affect your insurance coverage with that. But both of which have the same dosing. The manufacturer is Eli Lilly, the same manufacturer. And for me, with both medications, because it's the exact same thing, just different FDA approvals, that appetite suppression with it for me was very heavy for all of the doses, going from Mounjaro 2.5 milligrams, the lowest dose, and Zepbound essentially 2.5 milligrams, up to the highest dose, which is Mounjaro 15 milligrams, Zepbound 15 milligrams, which is what I've been on now for the last few months. That appetite suppression for me is so strong on day 1 and day 2, and it has been for the last 16 months pretty much, that I traditionally only have about 1 meal a day, OMAD, 1 meal a day on day 1 and day 2, traditionally. Now, if I'm near my menstrual cycle, that does change things for that particular week, but traditionally it's just 1 meal a day. And I ride that. For my chronic obesity management, for my treatment plan, I am not force feeding myself on day 1 and day 2. However, this is where it's so important for day 3 for me, and you need to test for you, which is why I encourage you to use tracking and use on countessofshopping.com, my amazing free resource for you for all things Mounjaro and Zepbound. There's like 50 articles there about Mounjaro and Zepbound and tirzepatides, and my free group that has over 10,000 people to help encourage you. And the reason why this video started was because of my free encouragement group. I'll link those also down below in the description for you too, so you can have access to all of those free resources, my gift to you. The appetite suppression is not as much on day 3, right? Like for me, it's been very strong for 24 to 48 hours. Boom, I'm full. I'm loving it. I love that full feeling. I ride that out. I use my water system that I always talk about, which I'll link down below in the description too. But by this time, by day 3, I'm getting back into normal eating habits, right? Like having normal eating patterns for me. And so it's obviously my appetite suppression for, well, not obviously, but for my body on day 3 is different than day 6 and day 7, of course, because by day 7, 6 and 7 for me, usually my appetite's pretty much fully back. I'm not having this of where I'm still putting my fork down in meals of where I'm like, oh man, I'm full, but it's not the same thing of like where I just do not feel like having a meal. And so my tip number 1 for you of how to use this leverage, how to push this, how to like keep the wave going, keep the movement going for day 3 is noting that I'm going to have less appetite suppression, right? Like thinking with the end in mind. I love to reverse engineer things. Reverse engineering, I know that that's coming. I don't like surprises. And so since I know that that's coming, I can plan accordingly with my meal prep, with my meal plan. If you, by the way, need meal prep or meal plans, I have a free, I bought for $500 from a dietitian, a meal plan. It's a Mounjaro meal plan. You can use it for tirzepatide, semaglutide if you're on WEGOVY. It's a full week meal plan from a dietitian who has a master's degree in nutrition. It also has, and I bought it so I could own the licensing rights to give it to the Countess shopping community for free. The shopping list associated with that, all of these high protein recipes, I mean, it's awesome. And so I can plan with, because I'm a planner, any other type A's here, fellow type A's unite, I like planning. And so for my tip number one, of knowing that that appetite suppression is there, tip number two is having 100 to 120 grams of protein per day with that appetite suppression lesson. Now, I use this meal plan totally, like I'm obsessed with it. We were talking about it in the free encouragement group yesterday, actually, about that dip. If you have not had that vegetable dip, ooh, I'm gonna make it later today. And it lasts for a couple days in the refrigerator in an airtight lid. Having that 100 to 120 grams of protein when I'm on Mounjaro and Zepbound, I know that I can achieve that. Day one and day two, I can't. That's just me. I know some of you guys can, or you guys will force feed. For me, I will not force feed. I'm just not. I feel like that's incongruent for what my body is telling me. And I want to ride that wave of appetite suppression by having a really nutritious meal when I do eat, making sure that it's high protein, nutrient dense food and all of that. But having 100 to 120 grams of protein. Now, I still will plan this out. Some of y'all are big trackers. Some of y'all are not. You got to do what's best for you. Again, this is where it's you know you better than anyone else. So using this, I can then figure out, okay, how many specific ounces are there? Because there's not specific ounces in there. Like, is it going to be 3 ounces, 4 ounces, 5 ounces, 7 ounces? Like, what am I doing? And some days, by the way, I don't measure out the ounces. Some days I just eat until I'm like, okay, that's good, right? But shooting towards that 100 to 120 grams of protein, it's a lot. For me, that's like mind-boggling. And my sister and I were having this great conversation. What would she be? The Countess sister? She'd be another Countess too, right? We're going along the lines of fake titles. Let's give her a fake title as well. Tell me in the comments. My beautiful sister, she was saying, because she's been doing weightlifting. I hope she doesn't mind that I should just share that. Sorry, sister, if you don't mean to share your personal business. But she's been doing weight training. And so she was saying about how we're doing similar with protein. She's like, it is a conscious effort from the whole day of making sure, because you get to the end of the day and you're like, oh, dude, I only have like 50 grams of protein I've eaten. I'm supposed to be having 100 to 120, which happens to me when I get stringent about tracking. Now, I use the Weight Watchers app to track. I'll link it down below, a discount code. Some of y'all don't like that for GLP-1. You'd rather use a free resource. Great. Use what tools work best for you. For me, I like the Weight Watcher because it's just easy. I can plug it in really easily. That for me works super well of having that 100 to 120 grams of protein on day 3. And then of course, pushing it past day 3 all the way up to day 7 until I do the hokey pokey all over again with Mounjaro and Zepbound. And so that's what I want to encourage you of. Are you hitting that number? Now, if you're like, okay, cite your source, because here I do want to be factually accurate. We're talking about this in the free group literally this morning. I just got back from a funeral too, by the way. If you're in the group in real time of me filming this, I was at a funeral helping a family member who has colon cancer later today. So if the group is a little bit slower this weekend, as the live, you can see the release date on this video. In real time, just extra grace, please. I need extra grace, please. I'm doing the best I can. Having that, and knowing, for example, today I was at a funeral. Afterwards, they had the reception at a VFW here in rural Virginia, and they had meat there. And so I was like, I can get meat here, I can get my protein there, and I didn't. I ended up eating green beans and a salad. And I was like, I'll have my protein when I get back. So after I film this, I'm actually gonna make a protein shake. You guys know I'm obsessed with Biocare. They've given us a discount code. I'll link it down below. I'm gonna have the Biocare, and I'm gonna have, we have some extra ahi tuna that I'm gonna grill up, and we just got a new grill from Lowe's, which I will link here, the exact grill that I bought if you're interested. It's a smoker and a grill. It's 2 in 1. Anyways, I digress. Having that protein, the reason why I bought the grill from Lowe's was to hit, and here's, you can shop on Lowe's if you want a new grill as well. They've got a bunch of sales going on before Memorial Day, Labor Day, the one here in May that's coming up. They've got a bunch of sales going on. Anyways, I bought that grill, the accountant I did, because, and I wasn't gifted it from Lowe's, even though I'm going to go visit with Lowe's in LA with YouTube here in a couple of weeks. I bought that with my own money. because I wanted to ensure I'm hitting that 100 to 120 grams of protein. So for day 3, tip number 3 for you is, what proteins do you like? Do you even know? If you don't know, I have 100 plus protein examples on countessofshopping.com, my blog for you. I'll link it down in the description link below, a free resource to help give you ideas of like, okay, what proteins can I have? Now, many of you are vegetarian. We've got a lot of vegetarian options too. I'm not vegetarian, but I do want to be inclusive in that. And in the free group, we have a whole thread for vegetarians. I think there's some vegan folks there too as well. So just FYI for that. But number 3 is, what proteins then would you put into that for day 3? Because we know with that protein, we need that to help with muscle mass loss. And many of you guys have asked me about muscle mass loss and to do a video on that, which I think I will, but also I'm not the expert in that. I want to give you guys my experience, strength, and hope. And when we get into talking about muscle mass, I know stuff, but also my job as a video marketing strategist, right? Like if you want to know how to create a 0 to multi-million-dollar business, that is my jam. But talking about muscle mass, I can tell you my experience of how I've been building muscle. I feel like that's important for me to speak on things that it's important. What I'm trying to say, and I'm not saying it very eloquently, is your trust in me over the last almost 16 months, I treat like gold. It keeps me up at night. The fact that we have this community and me giving information of what's worked well for me to help encourage you, to help create a positive space, I take that, like literally Jesus and I were having a talk this morning for like an hour about this. I take that so seriously because there's thousands of you that trust and value what I say. And I hold that respect. Like, I'm gonna cry right now. And I know this isn't the intention of the video, so I promise I'll get back out of my rabbit hole. But I want you to know that if you've been in this community for more than a hot second, I value you, I care about you. And from the bottom of my heart, the trust that you give me, I hold that weight like gold. It keeps me up at night to make sure I'm doing the right things and that I am operating on behalf of this community. So much so, in fact, I was offered $50,000, no joke. I've been offered multiple contracts that equate to $50,000. There were multiple ones, not just one, but multiple. $50,000 to promote products to you here in the Countess of Shopping community, and I turned down the $50,000 of all of those contracts. So that's the total as of right now that I've said no to. Just so you know of how much I value, and it wasn't right. It wasn't right, and I didn't feel comfortable. I don't promote things unless I buy them, and like there's a whole process in which I'm going to share something with you that I go through before I share it with you because I care that much. Anyways, I digress. Let me get back on track. Going back over to the grams of protein, and I don't, maybe someone needed to hear that. I don't quite know why I went down that rabbit hole, but it was important for me to share that if you've been in this community more than a hot second. If you've just, this is your first Countess of Shopping video, I'll get back to the point. Having that 100 to 120 grams of protein is going to help with muscle mass loss is going to happen on a weight loss journey. It is, not just with Mounjaro, Zepbound, WEGOVY, semaglutide, tirzepatide, it's in general. And so preventing that can lead to problems, right? If you have less muscle, like that's not good, right? And so I am actively combating that, which was one of the reasons why I bought, and I talk about it a lot. And I've noticed that there's a lot of new creators in this space who are utilizing the tools that I share with you and now sharing those with the same exact tools with you. It's interesting to me. But this is the one I've been talking about. I bought it with my own money. It's the Renpho. I'll link it down below with the Smart Tape Scale. And also, if you have blood pressure, that's the third one you can get and sync it all together in one app. That is how you can measure muscle mass loss. And so having that on day 3 and subsequently after that, why that is so important is protein is going to help build muscle, right? And so for me, if we know that muscle mass loss happens as a result of weight loss, I am trying to counterpunch that by having protein because protein can help build muscle. Of course, doing things like wall Pilates. If you're not into weight training, for me, that has been a great bridge between weight training and doing nothing. It's a bridge for me. Wall Pilates has been in the middle to get to the point of weight training as I'm building muscle and continuing on my 100-pound weight loss journey. Like I said, I've lost 84 pounds. People are like, I want to see your full body. Is that not a full body shot? Do you want to see my kneecaps? I'm wearing a dress. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I'm wearing my funeral dress. Maybe I shouldn't lift up my leg like that. Okay, let's go back over to we were just on tip number 4. Having on day 3, what I do still do Day 0, day 1, and day 2, I always have my element electrolytes because that helps with my Mounjaro side effects and Zepbound side effects. I will link down below. They've been very gracious to give us a discount code of 8 free sticks with any purchase. I buy directly from their website. I do not buy those on Amazon. I buy everything else on Amazon except for supplements. Intentionally, I buy these directly from the vendors for my supplements. I have a whole Mounjaro Amazon shopping list. That's linked down in the description link below. But on day 3, I don't always have electrolytes. It depends on how I feel. And so day 0, day 1, day 2, for me, that's pretty much an absolute of where I absolutely do have element. Day 3, it's kind of a toss-up. So full disclosure on that, it depends. As we get into hotter months, I'll be having more element electrolytes because I'll be sweating more because it's hot, right? Like it just clocks. There'll be more, I shouldn't say I sweat, I glisten. So I'll be glistening more, so I'll probably be having more element electrolytes. But on day 3, it is not a hard line for me to always have element on that day. Many of you guys asked, by the way, how many I have, 0, 1, or 2. Usually I don't have 2 unless I've sweated a lot. For me, I don't typically have more than 2. And I like element because there's no dyes, there's no junk added, no sugar added. It's like magnesium, potassium, and sodium. It's awesome. And it helps me so much with my side effects. Tip number, where were we? That was tip number 4. Tip number 5, because I'm eating more on day 1, day 2, I'm eating less, usually that OMAD 1 meal a day for me. You track for you. Day 3, I'm eating more. Usually on day 3 for me, I have, this has been happening more recently, nausea has been popping up a lot for me. It's been crazy. I've never had nausea as one of my Mounjaro side effects, and we know the 3 most common ones are, the most common one is gastrointestinal. So the 3 of those are constipation, diarrhea, and nausea. Nausea's really been popping up for me recently. Like so much so yesterday I was talking with the count and I was like I was ready to like barf. Isn't that like, I have not had that before. And it's been happening each week pretty much. I've been having these like barfy episodes. Like, what is it? Like, there's no new difference with it. And diarrhea, typically for me. A lot of you guys have constipation. If you want constipation relief, one of the things I highly recommend is BioOptimizer's magnesium. I will link that down below with a discount code of QUEEN, QUEEN. I like it because it has 7 types of magnesium. That helps with bowel movements. And also, I've got some other research. I'll link those down below for constipation. But for diarrhea, because I'm eating more, usually I do have traditionally on day 3, just keeping it real here, diarrhea and some form of nausea because I'm having more food. And for my body's like, so something to note. Maybe for you, you have nothing. Maybe for you, you're like, I am so constipated, Elizabeth. Many of you guys tell me about your bowel movements. I'm like, we've become such close friends that now I know all about your bowel movements. I know your dog's names. Mr. Freddie sends his regards to. I have to film with him. I'm going to, is my intention this week. He wants to be on camera so badly for you OG Countesses who love Mr. Freddie. He says hello. But okay, going back over, so day 3, sometimes I will have nausea and diarrhea, usually, because I'm eating more. Number 6 is having when I am eating. So I've already talked about the protein component, but the other important aspect for me is nutrient-dense foods. We are very intentional in our house. We have a whole, it looks like a bodega refrigerator. It's a glass refrigerator. That glass refrigerator, I'll link down below. It's bougie, I understand. And, but we do it, it's our glass refrigerator for fruits and vegetables. Why did I buy that glass and vegetable refrigerator? So I could see. And because I can see fruits and vegetables, you know who eats more fruits and vegetables? My household. My husband, my son, and I, because you can see in there and you can see all the fresh fruit and it's way more appetizing than like a cluttered, cramped refrigerator. You feel me? And so for us, that's been one of the best things, one of the best purchases is it's forced us to eat more nutrient dense foods because I can see everything. And then buying nutrient dense foods that I love. Here where I live, we have a great Costco. I love Costco for my vegetables. Now I live in rural Virginia, so I live in farmland. So once it becomes summertime, I'm gonna get, and like spring, summer, and fall, really, really good fresh veggies, fresh fruits from local farmers. But for now, I've been buying them from Costco and they're so good. So finding nutrient dense foods has been also very helpful with those proteins that I'm eating. So that's tip number 6. Okay, so those were my main tips for day 3. If you want to hear about day 1 and day 2 specifically, or day 4 and 5, or like other days, tell me in the comments below. I would love to do whatever. I want to be of maximum service for you and truly help you and encourage you of what's worked well for me, having been one of the earlier pioneers with Mounjaro and Zepbound. 2 things. One, many of you guys have asked about my supplements that I take. My biggest ones are Element Electrolytes, my magnesium, use the discount code QUEEN. From the magnesium, I bought to test, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. They have a sleep, it's called Sleep Breakthrough. That you don't need that on a day-to-day basis. And I don't take it every day either, but it helps for if you have weird sleep, which I do. It's been awesome. It feels like Disney princess sleep when I take it. I highly recommend it. I love it. My daily supplements are GEM. I've got a discount code for that down below too. And then I've started to incorporate in also a great collagen. It has in there, and the reason why I take it is it's called Mushroom Breakthrough. They have it in salted caramel or chai or chocolate. I love the salted caramel because I'm a caramel person. But it helps with mushrooms and collagen to help support healthy brain functions, but also it's got collagen in it. So I like this. It's got 3 grams of protein per, I have it in my coffee. It's got bovine collagen in there. It's got marine collagen in there. It's got lion's mane extract and some other things. I like this quite a bit. It's not as much collagen as other collagen sources. For me, I love this though. It tastes good. The consistency and texture is good. I like having it. I'm actually going to have some here after I finish this video. I'm going to have my protein shake. I'm going to have a decaf coffee. I'll put that in my decaf coffee. I do also have, am I forgetting? Oh, you guys had asked too. I love ARRAE. I'll link their discount code too for bloating. It's the best. If your stomach gets bloated feeling, it's got in there, the #1 ingredient is ginger extract. Am I mispronouncing? Ginger something extract. It's very calming. Also helps with nausea too. It's for bloat, but like that helps with nausea. It has bromelain. Is that how you say it? It's the pineapple peels in there too. Like it's the coolest thing. Lemon balm. It's just very natural, calming. Love that. But I don't take that every day. So in terms of my supplements that are every day, my daily vitamin, this one, and these are not gummies. They're made out of dates actually, which is one of the reasons why I wanted them, because my dentist told me not to have any more gummies in my teeth. I was worried about my teeth. So I love these. And then the other bio optimizers. And then of course I do also have Biocare, separate companies, which I can understand if that's confusing, but these are the protein shakes I personally love because they're made for people on tirzepatide and semaglutide, basically Mounjaro, WEGOVY, Zepbound, etc. I will link all of that down in the description link below. If you're looking to do shopping, of course my Amazon Mounjaro shopping list is down below too. Oh, you guys had been asking me in the group, so if you've made it this long, giving you a little sneak peek earlier, I've been testing Shapewear, my absolute favorite shapewear. I wore with this is my funeral dress. I am obsessed with the shapewear that I wore today. It is awesome. It's not crazy expensive. I think it's under $40 on Amazon. It has bones on the side of it, like meaning like a corset, but it's not a full corset, but it's shapewear. So it goes down like biker shorts kind of underneath your clothes, and then it goes up right underneath your bra. It is awesome. I'll do a whole video on that too if you want me to go, which I'm going to. If you're interested, stay tuned. I will be doing that, and shapewear and bras. You guys ask and you shall receive. So if you have other videos that you want me to do, I try my best to make sure I get those in the queue. And I had excuse me, an interview with one of the leading experts in the nation on healthcare. We'll be talking about that in an upcoming video. So make sure to click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. If you've made it this far in the video, our emoji for today is going to be a kitty cat. Meow. It's going to be a kitty cat. Put that down below and I'll know that you've made it this far in the video. 1, it will help me to get to know you better because I do care. And then 2, I will pray over you. And if you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought. If you've made it this far in the video, I love seeing people who've watched this far. Clearly that means you must like my content. And if therefore you like it, I want to get to know you. So that's one of the ways I can see who kitty cats and as the emoji. If you're not near an emoji, maybe you're running on a treadmill, you can just type in cat. That's totally fine too. And of course, our accountability question of the day, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? Is it going to be meal prep? Is it going to be going to get my meal plan that's down below for free and making a couple of these recipes? Is it going to be hitting your 100 to 120 grams of protein per day? What are you doing to move you closer to your goals? Tell me in the comments. Excuse me, tell me in the comments below. And if you've joined my free group, you need to make sure you answer all of those questions. If you have not answered all those questions, you won't be admitted. And then also, if your Facebook profile is less than 5 years, it's usually a flag to me that it's spam. And if you've been in the queue for more than like 2 days, email me. My email's down below in the description to email me. I want to make sure all are welcome at that table. Many people ask if semaglutide people are welcome. Of course, of course, of course, of course. So GLP-1 community is welcome at that table. If you've got besties who have maybe they just started, or maybe they've been on for a while, share this video with them and share the group with them too. Just make sure if you're sharing group members that they fill out those questions too, or else they will be declined. I am on that group of keeping it high quality, really great factual information. And that to me, I always say I absolutely require myself to be factually accurate. If I'm not, I want you to call me out on it so I can fix it. And then B, always checking, me giving the information, but of course doing your own research and your own due diligence on all of these things. This is simply my experience, strength, and hope, and my understanding. And I've got clay feet. I'm going to make mistakes. I try my very, very best, but sharing my experience, strength, and hope to hopefully help encourage you along your journey too, because it's been, to lose 85 pounds, that is life changing. It's crazy. Like my life is so different than what it was. I look miserable in this picture, and I was miserable. And so now to be like this happy, joyous, and free person, it's a gift. It's a gift. Okay, sweet friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.